Closed captioning for News 12 is brought to you by Kenneth Nugent. From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 First at 5.
It is Labor Day, the unofficial end of summer, but it also signals a rush to the polls. Midterm elections are just around the corner. Damaging floodwaters have taken over parts of North Georgia, completely wiping out homes and businesses in the blink of an eye. In just a moment, we hear from those bracing for round 2 tonight. But first, we're tracking the chances for downpours in...
I'll look at the full forecast in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks for that, Riley. New first at 5. One person is recovering after an accidental shooting in Augusta. That's what dispatch tells us it looks like right now, an accident. The call came in 3 hours ago from Deansbridge Road near Wheeless Road. No word yet on how severe the injuries are. Happening now, parts of South Carolina dealing with flash flooding. This is video out of Orangeburg County. As you can see, puddles are already forming around this home, but the owners say the real flooding happens. That's when that ditch behind their house starts to overflow. They say the water level can rise as high as their porch.
The overflow of the sewage system, that the main pipe on this road right there, it got a cap on it. And when the rain come through and it floods so much water, it pushed the top of it up. And caused the raw sewage to come, and not raw sewage, but paper and all that stuff, and they had to put lime down in front of my house.
A big mess. Now to a bigger mess in northwest Georgia. That's where Governor Brian Kemp has issued a state of emergency in Chattooga and Floyd counties. Riley was just talking about that, but this is what it looked like when the Chattooga River spilled over its banks. More than a foot of rain fell Saturday and Sunday, wreaking havoc for homes and businesses. And with the damage done, some spending their Labor Day today tallying the numbers. As Rebecca Schramm reports, small businesses suffered big losses.
Father God, we just...
Townspeople gathered for a prayer first thing on this Labor Day, and then it was time to work.
I felt like it looked like a tornado had come through rather than a flood.
Like over?
Heather Pacey owns a gift and decor shop called Dirt on the edge of downtown Summerville. It's had minor flooding before, but nothing like this. When the downpours came yesterday and creeks started overflowing, she and her husband couldn't get to her store.
But what we did see is that the water pushed our front doors open and broke our front doors, and merchandise was just floating down the streets.
A block away, the Ingalls grocery store is back open after only getting a few inches of flooding. But at the other end of downtown,
We've been here for 34 years.
Southern Bedding Company lost 75% of its merchandise, mostly mattresses made here on site. Owner D. Spears says they thought they were prepared.
Normally when they say, it's going to rain heavily, we put everything up, which we've had up anyway. But we've never had one this high.
How's your insurance?
Doesn't cover flood. We have no flood. Too expensive.
He says like other business owners,
We'll survive. We'll survive.
We just have volunteers off the street, and that's just the power of a small, loving community.
Unfortunately, more rain is on the way tonight, so those already dealing with damage are boarding up and just hoping for the best. Just up the road in Columbia, we now know the identity of one of 2 bodies found on the University of South Carolina's campus. The coroner says Anna Galika Shrews was found dead Friday morning near a parking garage. The faculty member was 48 years old. According to USC's website, both she and her husband worked in the chemistry department. The coroner has not identified the student found in the residence hall just yet. Investigators say they do not believe the 2 deaths are related. Still no official word on the cause of either death. The man convicted of hiding the death of a Georgia teacher and beauty queen was denied a new trial. Bo Dukes appealed his March 2019 conviction on Wilcox County charges for the death and disappearance of Tara Grinstead. Dukes' lawyers argued the court should not have admitted his confessions and statements to investigators during the trial. They also say his conviction should have been merged during sentencing. The court said they found no error and denied a new trial or any changes to his 25-year sentence. The need for foster parents in South Carolina continues to grow. Across the state, there are more than 3,000 children in foster care. A federal law signed back in 2018 required states to reduce the number of youth and children placed into group home facilities. Organizations like the National Youth Advocate Program started a push to get children out of group care facilities and into foster homes. But the demand, it's greater than the need.
Their needs are higher, and we have to recruit foster homes who are willing and able to become trained to handle the therapeutic needs of our foster kids.
The process of becoming a foster parent can take anywhere from 1 to 6 months. The South Carolina Department of Corrections putting an emphasis on substance abuse treatment. The department announced a new digital tracking service to support addiction therapy for inmates in the state's prison for women. Here's how it works. Eligible inmates will report their substance abuse, cravings, and triggers on a smart device. Then counselors will use those results in therapy sessions. The initiative, which costs just under $160,000, will be the first of its kind in a U.S. prison, according to Pear Therapeutics. Meanwhile, state officials are looking to protect residents who are at a higher risk of exposure from monkeypox. Starting tomorrow, DHEC will expand the criteria for those eligible to get vaccinated. The new criteria adds men who have sex with men who identify as gay, bisexual, transgender, gender fluid, or gender non-binary, and any person receiving HIV PrEP, pre-exposure treatment. The vaccine is not recommended for other members of the general public or healthcare workers at this time, but we'll let you know when or if that changes. Last week, the CDC approved the update for COVID-19 boosters. This week, DHEC leaders are getting ready for the rollout. They're expecting around 50,000 doses. You're eligible for these updated boosters if you've had your initial COVID vaccines and it's been 2 months since your last COVID shot. The FDA authorized Pfizer's booster for people 12 and up and Moderna's for those 18 and older. Dr. Helmut Albrecht with Prisma says this update to the COVID vaccine recipe is an important step in the fight against the virus.
You cannot give 12 boosters a year, but if a new significantly different variant comes out once a year, twice a year, that can be answered with adapting the vaccine much more quickly than we have in the past.
As of last week, just more than 50% of eligible South Carolinians have completed their initial COVID vaccinations. New today, a federal judge has granted former President Trump's request for a special master to oversee the evidence the FBI seized last month from his Mar-a-Lago estate. The former president has said privileged documents were among the seized items. The decision comes less than 100 days before the midterm elections. Today, President Joe Biden is crossing the country celebrating American workers on this Labor Day and campaigning for Democrat candidates. Alice Barr has the details.
A federal judge today pumping the brakes on the criminal investigation into classified documents seized from former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. In a win for the Trump legal team, Judge Aileen Cannon granting the request for an independent special master to review the evidence and determine if anything should be returned. The Trump-appointed judge temporarily blocking the Justice Department from using the seized materials for its investigation, though she said an intelligence assessment can continue to determine whether improper handling of some of the government's most closely guarded secrets jeopardizes national security. The Justice Department can appeal, saying in a very brief statement it's considering next steps.
The longer this gets discussed in the public, the further off their game prosecutors are going to be thrown, because this is not their arena. This arena is much better suited for a former reality TV star.
Judge Cannon finding the former president's rights have been protected so far, but citing the need for more oversight, given the unprecedented nature of this case. Over the weekend, former President Trump made his first public appearance since the search.
They're trying to silence me, and more importantly, they are trying to silence you.
The he offered no explanation for why the FBI found 103 classified documents and 48 empty folders marked for highly classified secrets. It all comes amid the final stretch before the midterm elections. President Biden on the road today in two key swing states, again slamming what he calls extreme MAGA Republicans.
We remain in the battle for the soul of America.
The president ramping up his campaigning in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, where closely watched races could prove critical to Democrats trying to keep control of the Senate. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Still to come on this Labor Day, a search is underway in Tennessee for a mother of two who people say was abducted early Friday morning. We have the newest developments in the search for Eliza in just a moment. Riley?
And we are tracking a few downpours around town, and these will continue into the evening forecast. I'll look at the full forecast for you just after the break.
This company is giving you the run. At the Mike Hostel Law Firm, we do car wrecks. Let's have a conversation.
Turning now to Tennessee, where an urgent search is underway for a missing mother of two. Police say the victim was abducted, forced into an SUV early Friday while out for a jog. The alleged suspect now in custody. As investigators push for answers, Jesse Kirch is in Memphis for us.
From the skies and on foot, police scouring this Memphis neighborhood Sunday, searching for a mother now missing for more than 3 days. And this morning, even after arresting Eliza Fletcher's alleged captor, police say the suspect still won't tell them where to find the missing mother of two.
More than anything, we want to see Liza returned home safely.
As investigators combed the city for any trace of the junior kindergarten teacher, the 34-year-old's family sharing this video over the weekend. Her husband visibly emotional.
Liza has touched the hearts of many people, and it shows.
Fletcher is the granddaughter of a prominent local hardware store magnate, and the family is well known in the area. According to court documents, she was on her morning jog early Friday when 38-year-old Cleotha Abston got out of this SUV near the University of Memphis campus, ran aggressively toward Fletcher, and forced her into the vehicle, driving away. Hours later, the affidavit says two witnesses reported seeing the suspect washing his clothes in a sink and cleaning the inside of the car with floor cleaner, acting very strange. Police say DNA from sandals left at the abduction scene matched Abstin's and led to his arrest. He's now charged with especially aggravated kidnapping and tampering with evidence. Police confirming to NBC News Abstin pled guilty in another kidnapping case more than 20 years ago.
It's just awful to see the evil that's in the world.
Fletcher's church, school, and family all reeling. On Friday, police took a laptop, garden shears, and this vehicle from her home. Then Saturday, police said they found the suspected vehicle, announcing charges on Sunday.
We just are praying with hope that she will be found alive. And she's just a beautiful person.
Just such a difficult story, and we'll continue to follow this. More news in a moment, but now we are tracking chances for downpours.
80s, though, for the rest of the week.
All right, thanks for that, Riley. Do you have questions about credit? After the break, we show you the most Googled questions about scoring. Some news you can use coming up.
The live.
Understanding your credit score, it can be a challenge, and according to Forbes, when people have questions, they often turn to Google. Consumer investigator Rachel DePompa looks at some of the top questions and even gets some answers in this Watching Your Wallet.
What is a good credit score? That question is searched more than 100,000 times each month in the U.S. That's according to a study by financial comparison site Forbes Advisor. It analyzed thousands of credit-related search terms to see which is Googled the most. The second most popular search surrounding credit, what is APR, which is Googled around 59,000 times each month. By the way, APR stands for annual percentage rate. The third most Googled question is how to build credit, which is searched around 40,000 times a month. And fourth is what is the highest credit score? And in case you've Googled it too, according to the most widely known credit score model, FICO,
good. With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Rachel the Papa.
Foundation damage